It's time to break the cycle of waste and mess. Time to stop accepting that the way things have been done are the way they should be done. Control-Alt-Delete everything you thought you knew about how to period. We're flipping the script, we're throwing out the book, we're challenging the period status quo. The Diva Cup is eco-friendly, reusable, and offers up to 12 hours leak-free protection. So what are you waiting for? Join the inner revolution with the Diva Cup. The Diva Cup is used for menstrual flow only. Always read and follow the user guide.
This is Austin, and this is Reppy from the Helen High Horror Podcast. You're listening to the Murderly Network, podcast to die for.
What's up, everybody? This is Tim, or Timberlake, as they used to call me when I sang for NSYNC, with the Brothers Commonplace. Thanks for checking us out. Just a quick disclaimer before we start. We're a comedy podcast that covers many serious events. We aren't here to purposely offend or disrespect any of the people involved. But at the same time, we're trying to make people laugh, crack some jokes. Thanks for listening. Be good, stay safe, and laugh at the dark stuff. All right, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4.
Come on down. Come on down. Hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the Brothers Commonplace tonight.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to another episode of the Brothers Commonplace. We are a comedy podcast that covers monsters, murders, mysteries, and more. Before we even mention what this topic is this week, let's meet all the brothers that are with us. We got a full crew, full house, baby.
Oh, am I going first?
Yeah.
What's up, guys? This is Tim, or T-Rex, as they called me at the premiere of my movie, Theodore Rex.
Oh, my God. Great flick. Great frickin' flick.
Hey, this is the Tooth. If you want, you can catch me singing in the rain.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. All right, hell yeah.
Hey, what up? This is Spence, also known as Slender Man.
Oh, hell yeah, he is. Just say your name.
Just say your name, dude.
This is Andrew. I ain't got nothing like these douchebags here do.
And y'all know
Thanks,
me,
Andrew.
it's the kid, the Cleveland Strangler, it's Kevin. And today we'll be talking about, let me give you a hint real quick. Who can do an Axl Rose impression?
Big Toofkin.
Let's do it.
Knocking on heaven's gate. Yeah.
That's right. We are talking about the Heaven's Gate cult. And before we jump into that, you guys got anything you want to talk about real quick?
Assorted random porno mags.
Okay. Okay, what about them, dude?
I have plenty of them.
I think we can just end the podcast right there.
All righty.
All right, this is
The
the Brothers
people know.
Commonplace.
The people know what they came here to find out.
Yeah, that's right.
The people get what the people want.
Exactly.
Yep, said that messed up.
No, it's like
that's right.
It's like one of those slasher movies where you try to find out who the killer is, but Andrew just told him right before the movie, so everybody can leave now.
Yeah. It's like, it's done. Go home. Bye.
Alrighty, so Heaven's Gates. On March 26, 1997, 39 people were found dead in a mansion in San Diego. The reason? Mass suicide of the members of the UFO religious cult named Heaven's Gate. Over the course of 3 days, all 38 members and their leader, Marshall Applewhite, committed suicide. Now, before we get into the details of the group, beliefs, and suicide, let's take a look at the two founding members first.
Marshall Applewhite.
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Applewhite.
Oh, shit, what's that song
God,
called?
dude, I know where he's
Shoes with the fur.
going.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I got
Apple
something.
bottoms.
I got something. Applewhite Colt shoes with the swish.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got.
They
That's
all
good.
had those. I
Okay.
like it.
So Marshall Herf Applewhite, also known.
They hit the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Alrighty.
That's what the song was about.
Jesus. So Marshall Herf Applewhite, a.k.a. Doe. He was born in 1931 in Spur, Texas. His father was a Presbyterian minister, and Applewhite was very religious growing up. He went on to college and got a bachelor's degree in philosophy in 1952 and enrolled at Union Presbyterian Seminary hoping to become a minister. He soon left school to pursue a career in music. He had a very impressive baritone voice and soon became a music director at a Presbyterian church. In 1954, he was drafted in the Army, and 2 years later, he enrolled at the University of Colorado and earned a master's degree in music. And what's really weird is a lot of cult leaders seem to have a background in music, like Jim Jones did also. I believe David Koresh, maybe.
And Manson, kind of. I mean, he wasn't as much a cult.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, he wrote that Beach Boy song.
Yeah, which I've heard one of the songs really wasn't bad. Like
The one I heard is not bad.
yeah,
Dude, so I just listened to a Charles Manson podcast, and he's from like Cincinnati, Ohio.
yeah.
And which is right by Ashland, Kentucky. And the whole time they kept talking about how he grew up in Ashland, Ohio.
fuck
and I was
yeah.
like, there's no fucking way he grew
Yeah.
up here. And I've never heard about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they messed up. So he was married during this time, and he also had 2 kids, which is a little weird because Applewhite was actually a homosexual. There were some reports of him having a double life. One is a straight male, and then one is a homosexual also.
Just like me.
Yes.
And as we'll get into later, a lot of this cult, I believe, is based around him being gay and not knowing or being able to deal with it.
Kind of just mess with his head and stuff.
So like John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah.
I believe a lot of what his was about is because he was a homosexual. He didn't really know how to deal with it. So he
I mean, I think he dealt with it fine.
like killed and raped, like sexually raped and killed like 30 boys. All right, so this is where things get a little messed up for Applewhite. In 1970 or so, he left the school he was teaching at after it was found out that he was having an affair with one of his students, which was a male. And then during the same time, his father passed away, and he became an emotional mess and suffered from severe depression.
That kind of would also explain like him like having like the weird. I'm not saying it's weird, but like his views on stuff that we haven't talked about
Yeah.
yet. But yeah, it just kind of like seems like he could have almost even been like schizophrenic. Or something.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people that think he's definitely mentally messed up. I mean,
Yeah.
most people probably think he was like really messed up mentally.
Yeah.
And there's even one of the former members who said like every day Applewhite would talk about he thinks he's like fucked up mentally.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's like not a day went by where he didn't think he was fucked up.
Yes,
So.
at least he knew.
So yeah, that was just a little bit of information on the background of Applewhite, and then we got a little bit more we'll talk about on the next person. If anyone has anything real quick though.
It's just funny, like, tell some of those people, like, dude, I'm pretty fucked up. Like, ain't we all, brother? It's like, no, I'm really fucked up. Ain't we all, brother?
The second co-founder, Bonnie Nettles, a.k.a. T, so they were known as Doe and T, taken from their musical background. She was born in 1927 in Houston. She was raised Baptist, but as she grew older, she moved away from her religion. She became a registered nurse, got married, and had 4 kids. And in an interview with one of her daughters, she said that at night, as a 14-year-old kid, her and her mother would go outside and look up into the night sky, just wishing that aliens would come down and transport them. So that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
can't
that's
even
not
imagine.
I mean, that's what I do every night.
Yeah, I mean,
with my mom too.
Like I can't imagine being with my mom.
Yeah.
Like, and she's legit serious.
like come on,
Being like, "Come on,
aliens."
you
Yeah.
motherfuckers, come
Yeah.
get me."
Yeah, like tonight's the night, guys. This is gonna happen tonight.
If that was me doing that, I would look at like if my mom was saying like, "Come on, you sons of bitches, come get us, come abduct us." I would look at my mom and be like, "Huh." Like I would first notice that she's eating a little Debbie snack cake, and I would be like, "Oh, I guess it's true, Mom. You are what you eat, 'cause you're a fucking nutty bar." That's what I would say to her.
Yeah. Yes. No, basically, it's like the 2 nerds from the end of Can't Hardly Wait just had kids.
So things seemed pretty normal besides that part. Then in 1972, her marriage started to get a little bit rocky because she believed that a 19th century monk named Brother Francis was speaking to her and giving her instructions. So, I mean, any marriage where your significant other claims that Brother Francis is fucking telling you what to do,
Yeah.
I don't imagine that's
I mean,
going to go too
Yeah,
well.
It didn't go very well with me and my first wife.
No, is that what happened, dude?
Yeah, I mean that and the small dick, but I mean,
Well, the worst part of that was, she was hearing stuff from that guy, and then normal families have like pizza night on Friday night. Well, he always was trying to get them to have crop circle night on Friday night.
It's like, what do divorce lawyers do with that? Like, who gets custody? Does the husband, or does the Francis guy?
they find a way to give it to Francis.
She started conducting seances and trying to contact deceased spirits, all that fun stuff, and she had like a weekly thing where she would do all this.
Nice.
But what really set this whole thing up for her, she had recently spoken to multiple fortune tellers, and they all told her that she was soon to meet a mysterious man. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, George Washington.
George Washington. They say his teeth were made of wool. So that's kind of a little bit of background on both of the founding members.
Yeah, pretty weird.
And then this is how they came together. There are a few different stories on how they actually met. One story is that they met at a psychiatric hospital where Nettles was working and Applewhite was a patient. Then there's also the same exact story, but in this one, Applewhite is a friend of one of the patients there, and they both met there when their marriages were falling apart.
Those actually look more plausible than meeting with their marriage, like taking a shit.
Yeah.
I mean, such because I believe he probably was he's been in and out of mental institutions, stuff like that. So, but I think it's funny to hear him tell the stories where he's a patient there, and they're like, "No, I was just visiting a friend." It's kind of funny to me.
Yeah. No, I wasn't there. I mean, even though he's always telling them that he's fucked up in the head.
I just like the food there.
Yeah.
No, Mom, I was just getting gay magazines for my one friend. That's all.
So Nettles believed that Applewhite was the mysterious man that she was told that she would be meeting soon, and they were the perfect complement to one another. Applewhite believed he was a prophet, and Nettles as well. They each had one another on a pedestal.
How fucking stupid is it's like fortune cookie stupid. Like, you're gonna meet someone mysterious in the future. Like, you're gonna fucking meet a stranger sometime in your fucking life. Like, unless you're 99.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna fucking meet someone different.
No matter what, like if somebody told you that and you actually believed it, the next person's gonna be mysterious, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
Like it could be like the most normal guy, but just because you believe that's gonna happen.
What was it actually like? I guess before she met Doe, she actually met Rey Mysterio, but he wasn't Rey Mysterious, so I guess she just kept going.
She was reading a lot of Spider-Man comics, but that was is that Mysterion?
Mysterio.
I was say Mysterion was from South Park.
Yeah.
But I agree with both.
And the two of them, they took most of their beliefs from the book of Revelation, and they were both convinced that they were the, quote, two witnesses that were described in the book. They also believed that they were aliens or higher-level minds compared to other people, and they made a basic outline in 1974 of their beliefs, one of those being that Mary was picked up by aliens and brought onto a spacecraft to be impregnated, which to them makes a whole lot more sense than her just becoming pregnant as a virgin and having Jesus. So that was kind of something they started telling people.
Yeah.
Oh, also, they believed Applewhite was a reincarnation of Jesus. Just a
Yeah.
small note right there.
I remember reading a lot about that.
But we'll get more into their belief system a little bit later.
Because, I guess marriage being pregnant, kind of hard to believe. I get, like, poking holes in that story. But they believe that an alien impregnated her more than that? Okay.
I mean, haven't you seen Life of Brian?
No, I haven't. Actually, I was going to crack a joke, but I really haven't seen that.
Watch that.
Come on. If they think aliens are an intelligent species, you think they're gonna fucking raw dog her ass? I mean, come on.
The two started driving across country on a spiritual road trip and visiting churches to speak at. They began to gather like-minded followers and putting together a group that they called the Crew. Doe and T would speak about an event called the Next Level, which they said would bring the members up to a higher evolutionary level. So the next level is kind of like a big thing that gets really popular.
Wouldn't it be awesome if, those shirts and stuff that are, like, super popular now where, like, say, like, Squad, and they'll have, like, a cartoon or something like that. I have, like, a Hey Arnold one. Like, it just has all of those and just says Squad on it, all those dudes.
I was saying it's a dumb joke. Never mind.
Keep
Just
going.
crack it,
Dude,
dude.
mine was bad, man.
Just crack it.
See.
Most of their victims that came to listen to them, though, thought it was actually like a brunch place when they heard that it was run by people named Doe and T.
That's funny. I like that a lot.
Oh, shit. That was awesome. And one of their main beliefs that they spoke on was about how the earth was going to be recycled and start over. And the only way to escape that was to ascend your spirit from your body or vehicle, as they called it.
I mean, I'm sure, like, we'll get further into it, but how? Like, where did they come up with all that shit? Like, and how would one person believe the other? Like, I'm sure we'll go further into that, but that's my question. Like, where did one believe, this is fucking it, enough to do what they did?
Well, a lot of the types of people that were joining up, like there was a time where, this was in like the 70s, where they actually had like hundreds of members and they had to stop letting people join. But a lot of them were like, some of them were like the end of like the hippie era that were looking to join. Some were just people who needed a place to belong. Like they came from all over different religious backgrounds. And one thing they did is they took little parts of religions and would kind of combine it into one to draw people in also.
So they almost believed it.
You said something about a vehicle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they called.
All
Yeah, that's what they called their body.
If their body was a vehicle, it's like those vehicles in Cuba right now. They're like 1950s beat up pieces of shit with no brain.
Well, come on, Tube. That's not nice.
Got them.
The story ended with vehicular manslaughter.
Oh, guys. Come on, guys. All righty.
Damn, Andrew, that's crossing the line.
Andrew. So in hopes of spreading their message, this was in one of the documentaries, they contacted Hayden Hughes, a UFO researcher, and Applewhite asked him to state that Doe and T are two individuals that can help people overcome death, just as Jesus did. And Applewhite told Hayden that if he decides he wants to help them, just pray at night, a secret code with the Lord's Prayer that he gave him. 14 months later, Hayden decided to use the code and states the next morning that Applewhite called him. I hate this fucking guy.
No, he fucking didn't.
And honestly, I wouldn't even not believe the story as much if it wasn't for the guy telling it. The UFO 2 is what they started calling themselves. And they were gaining popularity. And there was even an event in Oregon in 1975 where they were giving a lecture on how UFOs were going to make contact soon. Everyone in the town just thought it was like this huge joke. But 80 to 150 people showed up at the hotel for it, and then afterwards, 20 people packed up, told all their families goodbye, and joined the crew. So Applewhite was like super charismatic. He was a very good speaker.
Yeah.
And he also never fucking blinks if you watch his videos.
Oh, wait, shit, there's videos? See, I didn't
there's
watch
a lot
any
of
Oh, yeah,
videos.
I read a lot of stuff.
I saw him blink once.
Oh, I don't even want to watch him. Like, I feel
Well,
like it'd be weird.
There's also video. Spence, I give props to. He watched like almost the whole thing, I think. Half of it. There's a video.
It's the exit videos, which is the day before they killed themselves.
Oh, shit.
They got all the people to sit down in front of a camera and just talk about how they felt about what they're about to do. I actually wrote down just like 3 little clips from that I wanted to show, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Is now a good time?
Do it to it.
Okay. By the way, you mentioned how 20 people left that meeting and joined the crew, but it was just the Columbus Crew soccer team.
Like, oh
Fuck
shit, we're
this.
in Oregon?
Fuck this, we're gonna go play soccer. That's how me and Andrew met. So, like, I've already cracked that joke twice. This podcast is gonna start being called "How I Met Andrew."
It's actually a really good podcast because it's all about how Tim meets Andrew. Then at the very end, he just becomes my friend.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! That might as well be the fucking ending.
But it's how we met Andrew. But for me, it's how we met my mother.
Alrighty, here we go.
All right, here's clip number 1. This is with, what are these fuckers' names? We haven't even talked about the names, but this is Soroti talking.
I mean, we've been looking for this for so long. Some would probably sit here and, I mean, somebody on the other side of this camera watching this tape would probably say, "What's going on? You know, you all must not have a life, or you're deluded, or you're brainwashed, or whatever their thinking might be." It's hard to tune into. From our perspective, from my perspective, this is Hudson. I mean, this is the answer to everything. You know, these flesh vehicles. I mean, if you use the analogy of a car, and you know, people may keep their cars for a long time before they finally wear out and they clunk out and they die on them, and you know, they go and get another car. Or some people, they say, well, you know, here's a newer model. It's much nicer, and this one, you know, doesn't quite perform the way I could, and I'd like to move into this new car. So get rid of the old one, get a new one. I mean, that's about all we're talking about. It's not a big deal. I'm talking too long, so I'll pass up.
As weird as it sounds, like to me, it's not like the Jim Jones cult. Like like in a weird fucking way, I'm kind of rooting for these guys.
Yeah.
Like I want to raise my hand like the end of Breakfast Club and be like, you guys, you fucking got it.
Like,
you
all
did
right,
it.
guys, you did it. All right, this is nothing against that dude at all, but doesn't that guy kind of look like a white Urkel? Anybody else see that?
And this one on the left looks just like Steve Kerr.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh my god,
Or
dude.
Mark's dad.
I'm not going to look up what this gal's name is, but
That's a gal.
Oh my god, dude! I thought that was like fucking Harrison Ford.
Oh my god. Holy
they're
shit.
both gals.
Oh shit! The one,
not,
okay.
dude.
I knew the one on the right was because
Holy shit. Yeah, you could tell from the tits.
If people would just know that we're not forced into this in any way, it's our own choosing to do it, and I'm really happy that I made this choice, because there was a lot of things kind of working against me not to, I'm sure. I know there was people in the world who thought that I had completely lost my marbles. They're not right. I couldn't have made a better choice, and I think I need to every day thank T&O on the Next Level for even letting me be here, because they don't need anybody. Just I could say a lot more too, but for some reason we always get kind of emotional when we start trying to convey our true feelings, because we know, I think, that the media is going to just whatever. They're not going to present it the way we would like to be presented. Anyway, I wish you could all be here. I wish you were as lucky and fortunate as we are, I guess.
And we're looking forward to meeting T real soon.
Yes.
In her Next Level vehicle, and us in our Next Level vehicle.
And what Arsodi said about Doe is just so right. I don't think any of us could be more happy.
Okay.
That's all we got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She's like, we couldn't have made a better choice. Well, I could think of one. Maybe we could have got better fucking chairs. They all, everywhere in the mansion, when anytime you see like clips or videos, they're all sitting in these shitty plastic lawn chairs. And the next clip he's about to show, these two older people.
Female.
Wait, that lady, that's not Dana Carvey doing the turtle scene from fucking Master of Disguise.
Is her glasses even white? It looks like she's trying to blend into a new age school chalkboard.
Well, first off, I wanted to apologize for my appearance. I slept on my hair wrong last night. As you can see, it's just a mess. Anyway.
That's all I wanted.
That's awesome. Which I wrote this joke in later, but I'll just tell it now. If you watch their exit videos, because it was this whole idea about this cult, one of the main things is getting rid of individualism. It's all kind of like being one, so they do a lot of things the same. All the guys and girls like cut their hair and everything, and they just look like they all went into Supercuts with a picture of Lloyd Christmas and just said "Do me up."
Holy shit. Hey man, it was the 90s.
It's true.
So back to talking about the crew. Many of the crew members were described as longtime truth seekers, spiritual hippies, and people that were trying to find themselves or belong somewhere. But there were a few interesting members to note. One was a man named John Craig, who was a respected Republican running for the Colorado House of Representatives, and also the brother of the girl that played Uhura, if that's her name, I don't know what it is, on Star Trek.
Yeah,
I never watched Star Trek.
I did. I vaguely remember that character. I thought that was really interesting, especially with them wanting to go into spaceships and stuff.
Yeah, and so before we get onto leading up to the mass suicide, we'll talk about their beliefs now.
When are we going to talk about their names?
I didn't mention their names at all in this. Spence, if you want to take this for a minute and talk about it.
Well, we've got the little slideshow here. We've got, you guys got to help me with this.
Oh, man.
Sorority?
We got Custody, Sorority, Wiknoti, Yersodi, Lavoti, Janoti, Destodi, Sinodi. This guy looks like Steve Jobs. Stalloti, Trisodi.
Oh my god. That guy was a future serial killer either way.
Or they just cast him to play Shrek in Shrek 6. Winoti.
And also there's one named Grayson. So since we'll talk about it more in their beliefs, but since they were shedding everything that made them like human, that's why they all changed their names. And I'm not quite sure why every name ends in ODY.
Yeah, it said it on the thing that I read, but I literally can't remember what it was.
So they had like Scaloti, Timoti, Adrian Brody.
Yes, dude.
They had other names in earlier stages of the cult. Like one gal mentions how she used to be called Omega.
Ooh, nice. Yeah,
And
I like
then
that.
they went, and then she says that was before we switched to the Odie names.
I heard whoever went last, like they like kind of just like ripped on him. They called him Jabroni. And that's why I decided not to do it.
That's why.
That's why you backed
No,
out.
that was it. Yeah.
Welcome to the cult, jabroni.
No, this is not for me. I just went and played soccer with those other 20 dudes.
So Heaven's Gate, one of their main ideas was that the planet Earth was going to soon be recycled and the end times were coming. With the Earth being wiped clean and renewed, the only way to survive was to leave the planet completely. The group was against suicide, and they originally would speak about their stance against it. They believe that suicide was to, quote, turn against the next level when it is being offered. And they even have a page on their website dedicated to their stance against suicide. And as we mentioned earlier, they also believe that their human bodies were nothing but vehicles, a method or vessel to help transport them on their journey.
Well, what I was thinking of, like the main guy and chick, like they just got transported to rocket power and they were the grill cook Tito.
Oh my god.
They became Tito.
Hell yeah.
Together they were Tito.
Then everything was worth it, dude. Everything was worth it just because we got rocket power out of it.
Have you guys seen that like fake porn gore story about Tito?
Probably not.
Fucking Reggie and like pulling out her ribs and like fucking her ribs.
No, I feel like only you have seen that, too.
All right, then.
I like how you brought that up casually. Like,
Yeah.
hey guys, did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Wait,
like there was a game on or something. Did you guys see that fucking murder porn?
Game. And another big belief was that in order to move on to the next level, humans would have to shed all of their attachment to the planet. This meant giving up their family, friends, sexuality, individuality, and also their possessions. And that's why they changed their names.
I was on board until that happened because I couldn't give up my iPhone 7 and my popsicles. So
By giving up their families, that just they left them. Like
Yeah,
they didn't like kill them or anything.
No,
Yeah.
like Nettles, when she joined, she had 4 kids, and she just up and left them all.
Wow.
Most of these people that all joined, well, all of them that joined, they're either, like the family of them, they are either losing a mother, father, son, or daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't really ever get to see him again. Sometimes there were like special cases where the members would get like super depressed and out, and Applewhite would let them go visit their family for a little bit. But I think it was a really rare occasion that he'd do that.
I was in a similar position to Toof, about to join, but then the possessions thing, but I didn't want to give up my full set of all the micro machines.
Dude, that's legit. I wouldn't either, man.
So sex was a major thing that was given up as well. And like I said earlier, Applewhite being a homosexual had to do with it, I believe. Not knowing how to deal with being a homosexual can have a crazy effect on people. And he didn't know how to deal with being gay, so he wanted to fight the urges. And on top of that, he was married at one point, and it wasn't working out. It's like none of his relationships with men or women were working out. So it kind of makes sense, some of his beliefs that he's had.
I know he said it's like really hard to deal with homosexuality and like abstain from this stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're all doing pretty good here, haven't we? Like,
Well, we're not gay.
well,
Hey, fingers crossed.
balls crossed.
Oh.
Streams
Prove it.
crossed.
So Applewhite set up a strict no sex, no human level relationship rule. And him and 8 of his followers went down to Mexico and were all voluntarily castrated. A former member said that they, quote, couldn't stop smiling and giggling. They were all very excited to do it. And I've heard that they were done surgically, but I also heard reports of it being done chemically, which I don't know how they would do it chemically unless they like dip their nuts into that boiling acid from Batman Forever.
Oh, that's how they fucking did it.
No, that's what I hope.
No, I heard you just add a bunch of nair, and eventually it comes
Don't
off.
bring there.
I also hope
That
that
hasn't worked for me yet.
Yeah.
I also
Keep
hope
trying, Spence.
that since 9 of them were castrated, like one of those 9 was someone who's like the really dumb guy of the group, and everyone's like, yeah, we all got castrated, we all got our nuts removed. He's like, nuts? And it turns out he got his dick removed, but still kept his nuts. And they just called him Flappy Sack Jack. Or Mud Flaps.
Holy shit.
Well, shit. Thanks, Kev. Now I finally understand my father's nickname. So.
Mud Flaps.
Dude, I don't know who's taking more balls away. All right.
You're
I don't know who's taking more balls away, that doctor in Mexico or that giant cage at our high school. Like kickballs, like
It was actually a clean
Fuck yeah,
joke. I was
dude.
waiting for
Yeah.
something bad. No, I liked it.
No, that's perfect, dude. That kind of reminded me of Space Jam.
Yeah.
I always laugh when they're
We've
about to
got
practice.
balls,
Yeah,
yeah.
we've got balls. You know that was added in just for.
Oh, well, they also have the fucking rabbit that has tits.
Yeah, but she's hot.
Yeah.
For a rabbit, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that Gore thing about?
Oh my god! I was like, dude, are you serious?
Really, you should ask that every podcast. Until finally Andrew watches it so he can agree.
I've already seen it, so I do agree.
And Applewhite was said to never force or brainwash anyone into staying. And in all the interviews I've watched with past members and people that have left the cult, they have nothing bad to say about him. They still carry on their beliefs after. And most of them only left because they missed their family or friends or drinking beer, that kind of stuff. And no one doubted what he was or what he believed in. And another thing that's different from like Jim Jones was just all pretty much bullshit. Like you could tell he was just like kind of scamming and didn't believe what he was about.
Yeah, he didn't kill himself, did he, Jim Jones, or did he?
He did.
Oh, he did?
But
See,
I think
I thought only they did.
Well, I think he had a bullet in his head. So I don't know if he killed himself or if
like,
he was
killed
taken out.
Wasn't there like heavy investors and like people giving a lot of money to this cult too? They're making like $400,000 a year.
Well, this cult.
Or is that the next part?
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit later.
Okay.
But one of their members had a lot of money, and I think that's what they did. They did some odd jobs. They didn't really believe in jobs.
Oh yeah, weren't they like donating blood and stuff?
Yeah, they would donate blood.
Even though they had Steve Jobs with them.
Oh, that's true.
They would donate blood and plasma, and they actually started up an IT company.
Really?
And this was towards like the 90s, so they were web designers. So they brought in, and they actually called their company Higher Power.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and what's funny is their website they designed is still the exact same way it looked in the 90s and 97. They haven't changed it
So
since.
it's pretty much just Craigslist.
It's just hamster dance. But yeah, so like everyone that talks about Applewhite, no one doubted him. He actually believed in everything he said.
Yeah.
I believed in Anthony Bennett, but I mean, shit.
Oh my
shit
god.
still turned out bad anyway.
No, you
so.
didn't.
I still
too.
believe in it.
None of us. Wait, does he even play anymore?
I don't think so. Oh shit!
Wait,
on
he
the
does.
Suns?
Holy shit! Is he like? He's not starting. No. Oh, okay.
So everything in the cult that was done had to be done a certain way, in the exact same way. You would have to shave in a certain direction, like only down, like you couldn't shave up.
Wow.
And I remember one of the past members talking about, he's like, this was a huge problem for me. I mean, shaving down on your neck is super uncomfortable.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, so that was a rule. Pancakes had to be a certain size, and they had to be cooked on each side for a certain amount of time.
Jesus.
The burner had to be set a certain way, and the syrup had to be poured on a certain way also.
Isn't the pancake just a vehicle for a different pancake dimension? Why does it matter?
It's the vehicle for the batter.
And they say a lot of like cult leaders do this for the reason where it's like everyone is doing everything a certain way, and they don't question as much stuff because of that.
Yeah.
So it's like a form of control.
I believe so, yeah.
I mean, definitely taking more like individualism away.
Yeah. And they also believe that evil aliens called Luciferians were on Earth as well, and they had corrupted many of the religions to keep people tied down to the human level. And since T and Do were from the next level, the followers needed them to provide the insight to help prepare them. So that was kind of their thing is, well, we're from the next level, and you will need us to know what's right and like the differences between all these. And there were lots of other smaller things like that were needed to be done to shed individuality so that they could ascend to Tela, which stands for the evolutionary level above human. And also one of the original beliefs, the members were told that they would be beamed up into space, taking their bodies with them, and they wouldn't need to die to ascend to the next level. But Nettles was suffering from cancer and wasn't going to be alive much longer. She even lost an eye from the cancer and was walking around like Meltman from Action League now, just falling apart.
Holy shit. Meltman with the power to melt.
I mean, that sucks. She had cancer, but
I mean,
I couldn't help it. I mean, that's when I heard that, like, yeah, she lost an eye from cancer.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but think of her just walking around the cult houses like Meltman.
oh
just
yeah,
like,
oh yeah.
I don't know.
No, I mean, if you can crack a Meltman joke, you gotta
Yeah,
go
you
with
have
it.
to.
You gotta go with it.
I was thinking like eye for an eye, but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
all we needed.
after her death, though, a lot of the cult members were like, well, we were told we needed our bodies to, like, our vehicles to be able to ascend. And Applewhite, he had to Applewhite had to rewrite Applewhite had to rewrite some of the writings and changed it to where they would all be given new bodies in the next level. So they would need to die to ascend. When they originally were told, like, you don't necessarily have to die, like, now he's saying you would need to die for this.
So wouldn't you think, like, at that point, if you were a follower, like, he just fucking rewrote? Like, it's not like, you know, Christians and stuff. I mean, I guess they probably kind of do, but, like, it's not like they're rewriting the Bible, you know what I mean?
Well, and at some point they had, like, hundreds of members.
Yeah.
And as it goes on, they get down to, like, lower. I mean, their final member count of people that committed suicide was 39.
So, yeah, so I guess a lot of people did kind of catch that.
They also quit letting people in, so, like, they weren't trying to get bigger either.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, just hearing that last couple parts, it like reminds me of like a shitty Kobe commercial where he's like, "You need to get on the next level. Are you a same animal or a different beast?"
Yeah, it does. It does.
So just animorphs.
So at the new writings, he said that once the individual has perfected himself through the beliefs and process, there were 4 methods to graduate you to the next level. 1, physical pickup, which is what they originally told. 2, natural death or accidental death, since Nettles passed away. Outside persecution, because after Waco, Applewhite became super afraid and paranoid that the government was going to try to murder him and all of his followers. Or 4, willful exit from the body in a dignified manner.
So, like, then he probably knew that they were going to do it then, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he started throwing around this idea a little bit earlier, but even the people that left the cult who didn't commit suicide still believed everything he said. They just didn't want to die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they still were like, well, we're not going to do that, but we'll still believe in all this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so now we'll talk about the lead up around the suicide and the aftermath.
I heard they narrowed this down. They call it the shady aftermath.
July 23rd, 1995, the comet Hale-Bopp was discovered.
And then 20 years later, Kids Bop came out.
Fuck yeah.
And then bop it.
Bop it, skip it, drink it, and clean up the mansion.
Kill it, suicide it.
So in November 1996, amateur astronomer Chuck Schrammick took an image of the comet and claimed that there was a UFO flying near it.
Nice.
Schrammick called into the Art Bell radio program called Coast to Coast, which is super awesome, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more topics where we actually bring that up. So he called in and spoke of the UFO, and this brought attention to the situation. And some say that this is where Applewhite got the idea. So that guy called in to the Coast to Coast radio program, was saying, like, yeah, we got pictures, we got proof there's a UFO flying behind it.
Yeah. Did they ever, like, show the pictures?
You know, I'm not quite sure, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't...
I think on the one I saw, there was a picture of it.
Yeah.
It was just a comet, though.
Was it
like,
just probably, like, the tail of the fucking comet?
There was, like, nothing. It was just, like, looked like a comet. That's it.
So Applewhite told the members about the spaceship that was flying behind the comet, saying it was flying behind it so it could stay hidden. And also, by the way, Nettles was on the ship to help pilot her here to bring the members back to the next level. In order to do so, the members would need to leave their vehicles/bodies so that their souls would be able to board the spacecraft. In October 1996, the group purchased alien abduction insurance that would cover up to 50 members and pay out $1 million per person. This policy covered abduction, impregnation, or death, as long as you're able to prove it. Who the fuck sells alien abduction
I don't know.
insurance?
I mean, dude, somebody's
Someone with a lot of money right now.
But you know that guy is like, you guys want to buy alien abduction?
Yeah.
Yeah, we sell it.
Yeah,
Oh,
so,
fuck
yeah,
yeah,
well,
we'll
so you
we
know he's
sell.
scamming, yeah.
How many members you got? We got enough just to cover that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we needed, actually.
Hey, bring Flo out here. We're going to do some, we want to throw some motorcycle insurance in there, too.
That's how Geico got started.
Geico. Dico. Okay, that's not even clever or funny. There's nothing clever or funny about that.
I like
Heaven's Gate Co.
Oh
Gate
my
Co.
God, yeah.
Guy Co.
That's it. We figured it out, guys.
So the group rented
15 minutes.
The group rented a 9,200 square foot mansion in San Diego that cost $7,000 per month, and this would be their final act would take place. So this group, they didn't have money. Like, they were pretty much poor for most of it, and then they started their IT group.
Yeah.
And it seems like they would just get enough money just to do what they needed and, like, go from there. Like, they spent a lot of their early days just living on campgrounds and parks and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And, like, didn't they, like, beg a lot? Like, I remember seeing something where, like, they, like, lived in tents to, like, stay out of the media and stuff like that. And they're, like, beggars and shit.
Yep. And the day before the suicide would happen, the members all had a sit-down dinner at Mary Collander's. They all had the same meal: iced tea, turkey pot pie, salad, and cheesecake.
Really?
Which, I mean, even the motherfuckers who, like, murdered and raped people on death row, they get to pick what they want.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, I know it's all about being one and being the same, but
not like which motherfucker was the one that picked the turkey pot pie? Like, that's what I want to know.
You're this one dude who tried to get something like a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
God damn it, Donovan. Turkey pot pie.
Like, they let the only 9-year-old guy pick the fucking food.
Little do they know that Schnooty was actually allergic to cheese and had a severe lactose intolerance, and he actually died from natural causes.
Down pot pie.
Since he did that, he actually had to board a different ship.
The toilet ship. That's not funny at all.
Yeah.
What? Like toilet shit?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Or like the toilet store.
The toilet store.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the food that they were eating, because they went on cleanses all the time, and one of the cleanses they had is like they would drink like water mixed with cayenne pepper and maple syrup.
Wait, isn't that just the shit that Kelly does in The Office?
I don't know. It might be
that's
actually.
that's the cleanse that she does. You guys remember it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Office
I
must
do.
have been referencing that.
Yeah, because it's the exact.
That's pretty
cleanse.
funny.
Yeah.
Also, you remember the Family Guy episode where Meg joins his cult?
Oh shit! Yeah, it was. That's awesome.
MEG.
I'm trying to think of like the shittiest food ever.
I mean, the turkey pot pie's got to be up there.
Mush.
For your last fucking.
Mush is shitty.
Beef
I would rather
stroganoff.
have mush. I hate pot pies, man.
Grits.
I love grits.
You know, shout out to Mark who ate 4 pot pies
oh, yeah,
once.
he did. Yeah.
If he was in Heaven's Gate cult, imagine him sitting down with 4 pot pies instead, dude. He took 3 of the members' pot pies, so he'd have 4. Just eat the fucking salad.
Yeah. Just eat the fucking salad.
I'm 4 times better than you.
Then somehow he also has all that bread that you guys threw away.
All right. Before this dinner, they actually had 100 members, but they were serving Hungry Man dinners, so about 50 of them quit because they're not eating that shit.
Oh, that was.
I actually like Hungry Man.
That was a great.
Hungry,
dinner.
hungry.
I like Hungry Man too. I'm not gonna use the name, but one of my past roommates, we didn't own a microwave.
No.
And he would buy Hungry Man dinners and cook them in the oven. They took like 45 minutes.
Wow.
I was like, dude, have some fucking respect, dude. Like, you're going to wait 45 minutes for goddamn Hungry Man dinner, dude? Come on,
just
man.
cook something
You're
normal.
better than that.
So if you're waiting that long, the point of them is that it's quick.
So back to this dinner, the staff said that everyone there was very happy. They're very friendly and nice. And they also all wanted a shit ton of lemons. And the staff they couldn't keep up with serving all the lemons they wanted.
Wait, for what?
Well, they were like, we're going to die tomorrow, and when life gives you lemons.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude.
Well, the servers, this isn't funny at all. I was just trying to think of a way. Like, the server's name is Mike, and they just crack the joke when Mike gives you lemons. Not funny at all.
But what if, like, lemons were just the currency on that ship after they die? Like, that's what they were
Hey,
getting
can we
them
get
all.
more lemons? And they, like, wink at each other. They nudge each other.
Yeah,
You
they're
got
like-
any more lemons in the back?
Yeah, like, they think they're, like, scamming these motherfuckers. They're like, dude, we're going to pay for the fucking mansion with these.
But when they get on the ship, though, they find out by lemons they just meant shitty cars. Like, fuck, I just sold my Geo. The Tunes Geo joke, my Geo. Alrighty, so we talked about the exit interviews. Was there anything you wanted to add to that?
I kind of, like, felt like they were all nice in the...
Yeah,
like,
no, and they were all super
Yeah.
excited. And, like, that's the thing is, like, it's not like Jonestown where
No.
they're all, like, crying, being forced to commit suicide.
Yeah.
All these guys are happy. Like, they're dying
Yeah.
for what they want to do, what they want to believe in.
Yeah, like, the guy said it was the best day of his life.
So I'm
Fine.
on their
That's-
side.
yeah,
Fuck
that's-
yeah, let's do it.
That's
and
sad,
then,
but, yeah.
let's do it, guys. Heaven's Gate version 2.
All right.
The suicide took place over 3 days. 15 people died one day, 15 the second day, and then 9 on the third day. The way they knew this is from the different levels of decomposition, and also they had documents that they found that stated how they were going to do this. The members took a mix of phenobarbital and applesauce or pudding, so they mixed those together, and they would down it with vodka. And then some of the members had bags placed over their head afterwards to induce asphyxiation.
Yeah, why did they do that, though?
There you
Like you would think how the fuck you say that word? You would think that would have killed him. Whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah, well, they used that because I think they had a mix of like sleeping / pain pills, and so that they would like go out, and then they put the bag over them to like help aid it.
Okay.
So it's like a really peaceful way they said to go.
Yeah.
Except for fucking Donovan. I guess he was a dick, so they all just beat him with a pipe. I'm just kidding.
And then they called me Jabroni, so I got the fuck out of there.
They beat you up with one of those stuffed Macho Man dolls where they have like the pressure points in them, so when you squeeze it, it's like, oh, you're hurting my leg. You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
They'd always have that pause. Ouch, let go of my arm.
Oh, this joke's so stupid.
Oh,
I actually survived the Heaven's Gate cult. I was actually in it. They put the bag over my ass because they thought was my face. I guess that's how I found out I was ugly.
Jeez, dude.
So all the dead members were found to be neatly laying down in bunk beds or mattresses. All of them were wearing black jumpsuits with Heaven's Gate patches on them that read "Away Team." I guess that's a Star Trek reference. I don't get it. I didn't watch Star Trek.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's kind of fucked up because one of the members that committed suicide was the brother of that girl who's on Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they're ripping on themselves too, because like Star Trek's like a fictitious show about being on a spaceship. Like
Yeah.
they think they're going to a fucking spaceship. Like, why would you rip on a show about one?
And one of the most notorious things is that they all had brand new black and white Nike Decades on, and they also had purple cloths covering their face and torsos. So these shoes that they had on, Nike ended up discontinuing them.
Yeah.
I think I saw something where they tried to release a version that was like the colors, like had purple in it. I don't know if that's true or not, and then they ended up canceling it.
Yeah, bad idea.
There's a pair of these brand new for sale on eBay. And it went for like $6,660 brand new. That's what they put it as. And they had Applewhite's face next to the shoes. Like, they put it on there to sell it.
Yeah, dude.
And
what if they had his face like actually on the shoe?
Like on the tongue?
Yeah. Yes.
They're pretty like plain kind of shoes, really.
Yeah, I mean they're cool though.
I mean, I like them.
Yeah, I definitely would have worn those. Like
one of the surviving members said that the shoes were picked not because of style, but because they got like a really good deal on them.
Yeah.
And the guy who was working at the store that sold the shoes was like super excited because he's like, oh my God, I just made this big sale,
Geez, yeah.
And then he said the next couple of days when he saw it on the news, he got like super depressed and was like super fucked up about it.
Yeah, that's pretty
Because he was like, holy shit, like, should I have noticed something? Could there be something I could have done or said?
No.
And so he was pretty fucked up about it.
They all seemed super happy. There would be no way.
I read a thing about that guy that sold him the shoes. He's like, I think the worst part about it was he's like, yeah, dude, these are Nikes. Just do it.
Oh, come on.
He convinced them.
Like, Applewhite was like, maybe this is just the wrong day. He's like, just do it. He's like, that's a sign. All right.
I heard they almost had like a Heaven's Gate version 2 on accident, but it was just all the people that bought those Stephen Curry shoes after they got made fun of. They all wanted to kill themselves. Those shoes sucked.
Dude, they were
They
bad.
were fucking
Were they
super
just
bad.
plain like fucking white, pretty much?
Yeah.
I heard that they're their top seller on Father's Day specials. So like dad shoes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, they really were too.
And in the pockets of all the members, each member had a $5 bill and 3 quarters. And it was said that they always carried these with them when they were alive, and they kept them in their pockets after they died, sort of as like a dark inside joke.
Yeah. I was reading about this and like I just giggled to myself. This is fucking stupid. But like, what if like most people they found like the $5 bill and like the 3 quarters, but then one person they didn't find any money, and like the person next to them they found like $10 and 6 quarters. Like before they killed themselves, they just stole their money.
And there's that one guy in the group, shit, what's the nickname we gave him? Mud Flaps?
Yeah.
They reach in his pocket. It was all Canadian change.
And there was another guy. He had $9.75.
Oh fuck yeah, dude!
I heard LeBron tried to join the group. Oh my God! And because he only had 3 quarters. Because he never had that 4th quarter in him.
Yes, he does.
Stupid joke from like 2009.
So one member named Rio, he did not kill himself.
Wait, Rio? Riodi?
I don't know, just Rio.
Okay.
I don't know his actual full name. But
You don't know his Odie name?
Oh, I get it now. Sorry, I really didn't even get it. No, he must have left before they changed the names.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Rio, he didn't kill himself. He left the group, but he stayed behind, and he went through the mansion after the suicide and filmed it as he walked through. So, like, he got a note from Applewhite saying this door was going to be open, and he went through. He videotaped all the bodies, so you can watch that video.
Wow.
And he didn't give this video to the police till, like, 5 years after. And it's pretty popular vid. And what's weird is when I was researching this, I heated up a bunch of pizza and I sat down in front of my computer and I was like, all right, let's start the research. And I hit play on this video.
Yeah.
So I was like eating pizza that he just shows like 30 dead bodies after dead body. I'm eating. I was like, okay, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to change the video.
Yeah. That's like eating while watching Gandhi.
Yeah, you wish you could do this, Gandhi, you son of a bitch.
Does the guy like narrate as he's walking through there? Like, oh, there's Bill.
Oh, no. That would be kind of...
No, but he did say...
He was really silent the whole time?
As he went through, he was also calling out for people to like see if they're alive. And he said it was like, on one hand, he was happy that they all were, because he still believed in it, that they were all making it to the next level. But on the other hand, this is all the people he loved and knew
they just
are dead. So
yeah.
I heard when he was walking through, if you turn up the audio, you can hear it pretty well. He's like, Shimodi? Trody? Anybody there? Well, shit, at least I made $55.23.
So that's pretty much all we have on Heaven's Gate. We do have some random fun facts to add in. If anyone wants to say anything before we get onto this.
The shoes?
Yeah.
Were they like in a building with the bunk beds and everything, or
yeah, that mansion they rented out?
Oh, okay. I didn't know if like he saw footprints going up to it, like on the shoes, if you could see any fresh prints or anything.
Oh,
we
yes.
had to make it in there.
It needed to be. Yes, good shit, Doof.
Andrew, you got anything you want to say or add, buddy?
Nah, I'm trying to think of something, but I can't.
You sexy boy.
I'm trying. But wait, there's more.
So, as we mentioned earlier, you had to be 18 to join the cult. The website is still up, and it's exactly the same as it was in 1997, and you can even email them, and they will respond. I emailed them on Tuesday, and they got back to me within, I think it was 8 hours.
What'd they say?
Well, I asked them, and the thing is, since this is just hitting the 20-year anniversary of this, and because it's gaining popularity again, there's a lot of people that send them shit just to fuck with them. So they said they get on average like 10, 15 emails a day.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure that's up and down. So I sent one where I was just being like serious. I was saying, hey, I'm curious. Did Doe tell you to look for like a certain sign after they ascended to the next level to let them know that they made it?
Yeah.
And then I asked like what the current state was, which I know it's over, but I mean with all the members that aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
I asked him that. And all he said was the group ended 20 years ago and you can't join. I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he said there was no sign given.
What?
Jeez.
I emailed him like a week ago, and I was like, hey, is there going to be a sign that Doe will give you to let you know? He's like, yeah, if they make another Fast and Furious movie, it's totally real. And I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Oh, man. That gate's been opening and closing a lot then.
You said that gate opens and closes a lot, more than my back gate opens and closes after a few apple teenies. Jesus. Apple white teenies.
Oh, there we go. There's the two final.
Wait, guys, was that the sign?
Oh, shit.
Like they're eating that. What was that like fucking alphabet soup or whatever? They're eating that. And every time they see an A, they're like, "Fuck, dude, it's him."
Hey, Apple.
Or he sees a T. It's T. The rapper T.I. Because her eye being gone.
Oh, God. You can have whatever you like.
Oh, my God.
She like just one eye, I guess.
Except for food. Then you can't.
It's the turkey pot pie.
Yeah, that's all you're getting.
Donovan, we go over this all the time.
Imagine like the one guy ordering like, yeah, we'll all have turkey pot pies, and everyone's just like
the whole room deflates. Like they weren't even planning on killing themselves till the turkey pot pie.
But my thing is, they're singing that song, "You can have whatever you like," but they're just looking at him while he's singing. He's like, "But you gotta stick with the chicken pot pie."
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for listening to yet another episode of the Brothers Commonplace. If you liked our podcast, please continue to follow us and check us out. You can find us pretty much anywhere podcasts can be found, but especially on iTunes. We have a Libsyn page up now, and you can find us on Twitter and Facebook. And at some point...
I don't know if anyone can hear. There's this fucking cat in heat right outside this window, so I don't know if that's going to be on here or
I
not.
hope not. I don't think so.
And leave us a review, because that really helps. And like it, share it as much as you can.
Everyone listening could give us a rating, a 5-star rating and a review on iTunes. That would help us tremendously. And also share this with just one friend each, so that would be super cool as well. Is that all we usually say?
If you
something like that.
if you want, you can also email people at Apple and tell them to rate us 6 stars if you can. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Take it up a notch.
So
Only people on the higher level can do that.
that's true.
Fuck, man.
Which Andrew, are you?
No, Andrew was...
Well,
me and Andrew were the jabronis. We didn't do it.
Yeah, I always get those 6 stars because I've been playing Grand Theft Auto 4, so I always get 6 stars.
Fuck yeah, comes in clutch at the end, dude. Hell yeah.
That's the only joke we needed from Andrew.
Everyone, stay safe. Be careful out there.
Close.
Taking up the poop chute.
Okay.
And always laugh at the dark stuff.
No, it's close, but alrighty. Everyone be good, stay safe.
And laugh at the dark stuff.
We're keeping that too. That's awesome.
Oh my god.
And taking up the poop chute.
Fuck yeah.
Hey everyone, Tyler Carnell here. I just wanted to let y'all know that I was in that fucking Heaven's Gate cult till they fucking made me eat them chicken pot pie. Then I was like, I'm fucking out of here. Going to Wendy's where real food's served, but I'll still leave a tip on the table.
With the Capital One Quicksilver Card, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. It's easy. That's just the way I like it. Oh, that's the way, I like it, that's the way, I like it, Woo! The Quicksilver Card from Capital One. What's in your wallet? That's the way,
Capital One Bank, USA,
You teared up because the barista screwed up your order. You finished a pint of fudge ripple ice cream in front of the freezer. You yelled at your desk neighbor, Leslie, for breathing too loud. This time, don't go and buy another box of tampons. Question what you thought you knew about periods. Question what you buy, what you use, what the usual way, right way is to deal with it. Revolutionize. Switch it up. Try the Diva Cup and see how it can make dealing with your period a whole lot better.